by Riverside.
Hey guys, welcome to Oxidized.
Well, hello everybody, and you haven't noticed yet because we just started, but you may notice that there's someone missing today.
There is.
Because
The
it's
chair.
so much quieter.
Yeah.
And there's so Adam's gone. He actually said that he hates everyone and he
This is future Adam. That is a false statement. Do not listen to Atlas.
leaving to go on the road and become a stand-up comedian. It's not gonna go well.
No, check you can look for tickets at adamstandupcomedy.org.
It's an organization.
It's definitely going to be a nonprofit. It's definitely going to be a nonprofit organization.
That was good.
Because he won't.
That actually was really good.
Getting money.
You didn't have to explain it though.
But no, I did.
We got it when you said it.
Did.
No, we got it when you said it.
But it was good though.
That was good.
But
That
then,
was clever.
but a real funny person, a real funny person would know that it was funny and then just drop it. And then that's even better. But I had to keep going back to the well, making sure everybody knew how funny
and you're
it was.
still doing it.
I mean, it was funny. Not for profit.
That's
Get
funny.
it?
Why are you talking like a mobster? It was funny. This is just gonna be the show. We're just gonna make each other crack up.
That's all right. People will laugh with us. Everybody needs a good
Or
laugh
they
these
won't,
days.
and they'll be like, "What are these people doing?"
Yeah, that could be the other. That could be the other thing. So, yeah, here we are. Oxidized going to be hanging out with you for the next hour or so. It's just going to be Atlas and I. We're going to have a couple of things that we wanted to get talking about, and then we'll just kind of off ramp and see what happens to be there. 90% of our agenda was on Adam's list, so since he's not here, we've got some room to fill. But we've got some things from last week that we didn't really get to, so that's good.
One thing.
One thing. So, and one thing can lead to another, right? So, hopefully, you have another question or so. And now you had a debate topic.
No,
but
I didn't.
That's
It was
keyed up for
It was
3.
a dumb debate topic. It was stupid.
Even if Adam was here, we wouldn't hit it.
It's dumb.
Well, like how dumb is it?
I looked up debate topics online.
Oh my
And I scrolled
gosh.
through a list.
That is awful. What did you come up? You might as well bring it out now. I mean, we could at least have the discussion. It might not be great, but it'd be better than Adam's nonprofit organization.
Does free will exist? Bro, shut up. It's a dumb topic.
It's an awful topic.
I'll keep scrolling.
Yeah, get one that's like really good for 2 people. Like I said, we've got stuff to talk about. It's not like we're just going to sit here and bore you guys for the next hour, but at the same time, you could bring us something. That would be great.
Some of these are really dumb.
All right, well, let's just do a couple of quick updates. So we had, and I think we talked about it we definitely talked about in the last episode, that we had started an IndyCar fantasy league, and then we had also started a Formula One fantasy league as well. The bad news is that Atlas is winning both.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
Go.
So
I'll pull up the scores.
yeah, get your scores up. So here's the scores. Again, we are through now week 2. So IndyCar's had 2 races. Formula One has had 2.
So, finals for IndyCar. Final scores after week 2. We have me, 1,250. Eric, 1,200. And Adam in last with 1,129.
So Atlas leads the way after 2 races. They just finished up at Thermal Club with the Grand Prix today. And the winner was
Me. And then
Alex Pillow.
Oh, wait.
Beats the boys
race.
in Papaya, which is the nickname for the McLaren race team, whether it be Formula One or IndyCar, because of their beautiful orange color car. If you have not seen a McLaren IndyCar or Formula One car, Google it. and it is one of the most beautiful machines that probably has ever been built. But they do call them the boys in Papaya, and the Papaya guys were definitely 1-2 today. In were they 1-2 in
2-3.
F1?
Oh, in F1 they were 1-2.
F1
and then
1-2, and in IndyCar they were 2-3.
Yes.
And number 1 today at Thermal Club was Alex Palou.
Yeah.
And Palou's fast. He's got one of those IndyCar commercials that have been showed on Fox, and it's a great commercial. But there's a problem with Alex Palou. We talked about this last year as we got ready to head into IndyCar season or into the 500. And here we are today. We're about, 60 days, maybe, something like that. I think it was 64 days, somewhere in that ballpark, the last that I saw in my countdown of how close we are to the Indy 500. And what is Alex Palou's problem, Atlas?
He doesn't win an oval course.
He can't win in an oval. He's only good on the road course, and the biggest race of the year is the Indy 500, which happens to be
in an oval.
It's an oval. So it's frustrating to see him do. He's super fast, right? He's a
Why
great
do you
driver.
keep going to Italian mob boss?
I don't know.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
It's
It's frustrating. It's Luigi.
Oh, okay. All right. So no.
No, we can't go into Mario and Luigi voice. So anyway, that's my biggest problem with Palou. Although great, congrats, Alex. Nice job. Good for you.
Not bitter at all.
But Christian and Pato went 2-3 in IndyCar. All right, so you had your IndyCar scores, which you won.
Oh,
what
yes.
What are the F1 again? Now Adam is not doing the F1. He was too busy writing jokes for his new stand-up routine. But for the Formula 1 through 2 races, what do we got?
We have me with 1,783, and we have Dad with 1,538.
So again, Atlas winning, which is just embarrassing, quite frankly, because I'm the one that showed them the entire racing world, and here they are kicking my butt after 2 races.
You just make
So-
sure to get your favorites in it. That's the thing. You get your favorites in it.
Well, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, but you gotta think like strategically.
But I'm
Like,
not good
I
at
get
that.
my favorites, but I didn't get Charles Leclerc because I know he's a lot of money and he's also not that good. Love you, Charles.
You just think he's pretty.
He is pretty, but he's not a good driver. Not that good.
Well,
he's not
he's-
Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri.
No, I would agree with you.
And
I would agree with you.
They normally always get the top 3,
Yeah,
both of them. So.
they do. Yeah,
And
they're
you just
usually
have
right
Lando,
up
so
there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my fantasy team's not the best, but I think we get to reshuffle after 3 or 5 races, something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. We'll kind of see what happens there. So quick racing update, but yeah, man, we are getting close to the month of May. This is going to be a little bit interesting here for the next couple of weeks because I will then be on my stand-up tour for comedy. But I'm actually Natalie and I, friend of the show. How you doing, Natalie?
I'm not gonna do it. It's so dumb. This is
Is
such an
it?
overplayed joke.
I don't think it is.
How are you doing, Natalie?
Fine, thanks.
See, it's so dumb.
Natalie and I think if you go back to season 1, people are going to appreciate it. So Natalie and I are getting
People?
ready to go off
People?
on a
What people?
person.
Are the people in the room with us?
The person will appreciate it. So we're getting ready to go off on a European vacation. So we leave Thursday and we fly over to Switzerland. Going to be in Lucerne, Switzerland for a couple of days. Then we get on a Viking River cruise boat. We go from Switzerland to Germany to France to Germany. Yes, I said that twice. And then we finally end up in Amsterdam. So it's going to be pretty cool. Hang out for a couple days, come back. 1 day back stateside. And then we're going on another trip.
Yeah.
So it's Atlas's spring break. And we're going to take a long
Yeah.
weekend. And a friend, Keegan, also a friend of the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to head to the Smokies. So
Smokies.
Smoky Mountains.
We're gonna be smoky in the Smokies. I'm just kidding. We're not.
Not that. So we've got Gatlinburg, and we'll be hanging out, and just a lot of cool stuff to do kind of down there. So that'll be fun to get away. The place we've got is pretty cool. It's sort of in the
It's
top of the
epic.
mountain,
Number 1 epic
and it's got
moment.
video games and shuffleboard and hot tubs and all kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Mall boss has put some poison into my drink here as I'm about to keel over. So, but no, so that part will be fun. But yeah, for the next couple of weeks, I will be MIA. So I think Adam's got something cooking where some interviews on, maybe some guest appearances from Leah, Lexi, that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of see what happens, and then we'll kind of go from there. Right on.
Right on.
There we go. Let's go to you and senior year. Give us an update. We're getting close. You've got literally 2 months. That's it.
So I fear the senioritis has hit because I just kind of have stopped doing my homework for AP Gov because I know that if I turn it in late, I still get all the points. So I just kind of haven't been doing it like at all. Like there was one due on Friday and I just like went out with my friends instead because I was like, dude, I don't care. And like, oh my God.
Senioritis has definitely hit then. If that's where you're at, it's not great.
Oh my gosh. Last week. So there's something that really makes me angry, and it's when teachers like have a set due date and then they push it back the day that it was due, right? Because
well, what's the point? Why would they do it that day? Everybody should have it done, right?
exactly. Like freaking I worked my freaking booty off last week to do a group project by myself because my group didn't do anything.
Always the case. Group projects suck.
I was doing it by myself and like I finished it and he goes, you can turn it in Monday. I'm not gonna grade it this weekend. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? What the heck?
So you had it. So was the reasoning because a lot of people didn't have it done, or what?
I don't know.
That sucks. That's what you get. So let's go back to this AP Gov thing for a minute. So you literally, you have no incentive to turn it in on time.
Correct.
There's no deduction from points.
Correct.
What a dumb rule. That's a crazy rule. So there was a study that I read about, and it makes me think about that. And I don't remember if we've talked about this on the air. I don't think we have. But so there was a daycare center.
Mm-hmm.
Stop me if you've heard this one. There's a daycare center.
You
And-
said one word.
Okay.
Stop me if you've heard of this.
So I guess so. And parents kept coming late. Parents would be like 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. And the people that ran this facility got upset about it. And they're like, all right, from now on. And they sent out this email, like major announcement. And they're like, all right, here's the deal. If your child is not picked up by 5:30, you will be paying a $50 a week fee. Guess what happened?
They picked him up on time.
People started picking them up at 5:30 because now instead of having to hustle to try to get there and be rushed, they're like, we'll just pay $50 a week and we just got an extra half hour out of the service. So it like completely backfired.
Oh.
So there's this whole psychology that goes with this kind of stuff. So when you tell me that your AP Gov teacher
Love her. Love you, Miss Trish. I heart you so much.
doesn't make you turn in your stuff on time, and if you or has a due date but doesn't ramify it doesn't have ramifications is what I meant to say for not adhering to it, why would you?
I don't know.
Well,
Some
you're
people
not.
do, and I'm
You-
like, I don't really care.
Yeah. All right. Is this, and it's obviously AP, so it's only seniors.
No, it's seniors and juniors.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I didn't notice a lot of people take AP classes, but not a lot of them are cut out for AP classes, myself included.
So AP is college credit, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, it's college credit. Well, it's college credit, but you have to have a certain score on the AP exam. But a class like ACP is college credit, and you don't have to take an exam. Like, you don't have to take an AP exam. So you get credit no matter what in an ACP class. But in an AP class, you have to take the exam and get like a 4 or a 5 or sometimes even a 3 to
Really?
get credit. Yeah.
So what is ACP?
ACP is basically, I don't know what it is. It's not advanced placement, but it's like,
Okay.
I don't know.
But does it translate to college?
Yeah.
But if you do an AP, you get like credits, right? Like,
get
doesn't
both.
that actually?
For both.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's not really a reason to take an AP over an ACP because ACP, like, you don't have to take a big exam at the end.
It doesn't make any sense. The system seems a little bit flawed there. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, anything else in your year wise? What about prom? We doing prom?
Oh my god, I got my dress.
You are doing prom.
Let me
Awesome.
tell you, I have a story about it.
Okay.
So, like last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a dream. I gotta stop saying what I always want to say after I say I had a dream. I had a dream. I had a dream that one day. Anyways, I had a dream.
Great speech, by the way.
I was going to prom and I was wearing a green off the shoulder dress.
Okay.
Well, I found a green off the shoulder dress
No way.
and I'm gonna wear it to prom.
I am now looking at said dress and it's absolutely beautiful. Very nice. I love it. Now, are you dating or are you stagging?
What?
Are you taking a date or are you going stag?
Are you dating or are you stacking? I'm taking Keegan.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
That will be fun. So, and Keegan used to attend.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So lots of friends there as well.
We might convince Nick to come with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Groovy. Now, where does Nick go there?
He graduated early.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, very cool. That's exciting. And that's what, May something?
May something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
all right.
last year it was fun. Like,
Where's the prom at?
it's at the Indiana State Museum.
Okay. And then after prom, what, back at the high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun because last year the theme was casino. So I went back to the
Oh,
after
yeah.
prom and it was just casino stuff. So I just played blackjack.
Nice.
I got into gambling.
Very, great. Thank you, Westfield High School. And now what's this year's after deal?
I have no idea. The theme is Sunset Boulevard, but no one follows the theme.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Sunset Boulevard.
In Indiana?
I mean, it's a really old musical and it's a really
I'll
old
come as a
movie.
I'll come as a psycho. I'll come as a. What is she? She's like a psycho, right? She's like crazy.
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Because you yap about it sometimes.
I love it. I mean, it was great. Yeah, she kind of loses it. She kind of checks out, which is unfortunate. But
I
yeah,
remember once
what
I had to
happens.
do this like project or whatever on. I think it was just like. I don't remember what it was on, but it was someone. I think I had to like show the like parts of someone's life or whatever, and I
Yeah.
chose. I think I chose the girl who plays the main character in Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, really?
Not even trying to.
Interesting.
I just chose her, so I gotta draw like the movie cover, and I gotta like talk about it.
Is it freezing in the studio today?
No.
Oh my gosh. I'm freezing in here, and I think part of the reason is, I've lost 27 pounds. That's a big blanket to take off. So I've taken off a big blanket, and now I'm freezing.
That's a big blanket.
A big
bro.
blanket.
Oh, you didn't have to say it.
So, yeah. So there's that. And then you are still working.
Yeah.
You're still the new heir and picking up some new hours.
So many new hours.
And then the other thing is, you gotta go car shopping eventually.
Oh my god, I don't want to. I'm done. Thank you.
But what happened to Vinny?
This is just. I love Vinny. He's fine. I love him.
But Vinny is really old
He's not
and
that
has a
old.
lot of miles on him.
He doesn't have that many miles. My friends have cars with like 250,000.
Okay, great. But how many does Vinny have?
He only has like 145,000.
Yeah. But it was made in what, 1974?
2011. It's not that old.
It does not have a backup
My friend
camera.
have his car. My friend. Okay.
Or a lane adjustment, lane shift, doesn't
Okay.
self-drive.
Okay.
We have lots of issues with it.
You grew up in the olden days. I don't know why you're.
The olden days? What does that
You
even
grew
mean
up
to you?
when
olden
jazzercise
days?
was a verb. Like,
Jazzercise
We're
was a
jazzercising.
verb. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a verb and it was a class. Yeah. Jazzercise was great, man. I'm
My
just kidding. I have no
sociology
idea what it
teacher
is.
showed us clips of a jazzercise thing.
Was that Richard Simmons? Did he do that?
I have no idea. I don't know who
Do you know who Richard Simmons is?
No.
Oh, come here. Come on over.
Oh, okay.
Come here. We're gonna do this on the air. All right. So let me show you a quick picture.
Wait, is that the guy who was?
He died recently, I believe. It wasn't that long ago.
Ew.
But
The nicest worst way possible.
But he was very interesting. He was a extremely interesting individual, very high energy. Let me show you. Well, that was in 1980. This is the Richard Simmons that I remember. That is what he was, extremely energetic, and yeah. So anyway, but I think he's the one that did it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. He's 75 in those pictures. Isn't that insane?
He doesn't he aged way better than you did.
Well, that's Jazzercise, baby. That's showbiz, baby.
So you should have gotten into it.
Yeah, Sweating to the Oldies. That was one of his other big workout programs. So, do you remember Buns of Steel? Did you ever hear of that one?
No. What is Buns of Steel?
It is what you think it is. It was a workout routine that got your butt rock solid. Buns of Steel. And then there was Abs of Steel. And then there was like, I don't know, 6-minute abs or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So there's been a lot of like TV workout things before YouTube. You had to buy them on cassettes, right? You had
Yeah.
VHS cassettes and stuff because we didn't stream stuff back then.
Yeah.
So.
I know that. You don't have...
Do you have a VHS player at your house?
No, I don't have it at my house. I don't think I've ever... Did we ever have one? Not one that I remember. I remember the old gray box TV.
Old gray box TV. Yeah, I know what a TV looks like. For those of you that can't see, which is all of you, Atlas just drew a rectangle, and the box TV, and draws a rectangle with their hands. So that was
No, it was gray.
okay, and it
black.
was a box, right?
And it
it
looked like
had
a
a
box.
screen in the middle.
It had a screen in the middle,
Great.
and we had it for a long, long time.
Well, you need to find it. And do you have a picture of it?
Where am I gonna find it, brother?
Well, I don't know. You're looking at your phone. I thought you had a
I
picture.
am looking for it, but I don't know.
All right.
Like it was like I don't know. Like it was like a. Do you not remember it? It was.
No,
it was
I don't
old
remember it.
house. It was at the old house.
You know what? Here's something super interesting because people, and you guys made experiences too out there, and if you do, like, try to figure out why this is. So, parents have thoughts about stuff, like
What?
as you.
That's
as a-
crazy.
shut your mouth.
I had no idea.
As you, as a child, as you were growing up, I have thoughts and I have memories of things, and sometimes those memories go together, where you have a memory of something and I have a memory of something and we share it. But more often than not, kids have the bizarrest memories, and they say something to their parent, and the dad or the mom is like, "We never did that," and the kid is like, 100% we did that. And for me as a kid, it was always the Pepsi-Cola bottling company plant was right in Hamilton, Ohio.
Oh yeah, oh.
And we drove by it my entire childhood. And all I wanted to do was go there. And I kept asking, and it was one day we'll go. And then it closes up shop and it leaves. And I never got to go. And years later, I talked to both my mother and father about it. Nope. You never asked to go there. Like, what are you talking about? It was my entire, like, my heart bleeds the way it does today because I never got to the Pepsi-Cola bottling company. It was, I can still
Your heart
see the
bleeds Coke instead.
Yeah. I do drink Coke instead, but I can still see like the logo and the Pepsi-Cola bottling, and all I wanted to do was tour it. That was it. But anyway, that's that moment. I didn't bring that up so I can rip out my heart again. I brought up that moment because everybody has those sorts of things. Like with Philip, right? Philip says that kind of stuff to Natalie all the time. He'll be like, "Hey, do you remember this?" And she's like, "No." So here's the question. You have this TV, this gray TV that represents your childhood. What other moments do you have of things that we did, that you did like when you were growing up, that are just obscure, but you'll never forget it?
Do you remember the trash can that was an alligator with its paws on its stomach?
No, didn't exist.
I have a picture.
You have a picture of an alligator? Wow.
Do you not remember? You remember?
I
You remember it.
barely,
Yes,
though.
you do.
Barely.
You remember.
Barely. I would have never came up with that.
Really?
Ever.
Did I just describe it really badly?
Maybe. But I also just a trash can has never held that big of a piece of me.
Oh, okay,
like
right.
in my heart, right?
So you hate me and the trash can.
That's not true. I don't hate the trash can.
Absolutely crazy work. No, right? Because it was like a square, right? Like imagine
What was a square?
Square.
The TV?
Imagine
They're
a
all
square
squares.
in your head. No, they're rectangles.
Well,
rectangle
now
is
they
the square,
are. Now
but a
they
square is
are.
not a rectangle. Or wait, a square. A rectangle is a square. Wait,
No,
a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Correct.
It's a square,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And it was. I'm gonna draw this on my phone because it's pissing me off. You don't remember it.
How can you
You're just
draw? Why do you
lying
have
to
to
me.
draw a square? I know what a TV looks like. Like you're wasting your time right now.
No, I'm not wasting my time.
All right, for those following along, Atlas has literally pulled out a drawing app.
It's just Snapchat. It's not an app. I don't have an app.
Snapchat. They have a drawing app on Snapchat.
No, it's not an app. You can just draw on Snapchat.
But why would you do that?
Because I want to show you this.
So, it was a TV,
It was a TV,
and it's that important.
and it's so important. It was my childhood TV. Do you remember the
No.
TV at the old house? Yeah.
No, I don't remember the TV at the old house.
Do you
What old
remember
house?
any TVs?
Westfield House or 72nd Street? House?
Both TV. Both houses.
Was it the same TV at both houses?
Yes.
No recollection.
Like
That's
that.
great.
Like
That's great. That's great.
Imagine that.
I wish you could all see this. This is why one day we're going to get this thing to a video so you can see the insanity that I have to deal with, because I literally was just drawn a silver square with black in the middle, which is essentially a shut-off TV. Thanks for the effort. I mean, it was a great shut-off TV,
That's
but
what it looked like. Like it was just like a square.
oh my god! So what's unique about the TV? What
It was
makes
just
it?
a TV. It was an old TV, and it was a TV that we had at the old English. We had at the whole
The whole house.
we had at the old house, and then when we moved to the Westfield house, we put it in the upstairs.
Yeah, no recollection of it. Zero.
Do you remember when we went to the gold?
I don't know why, but every time Atlas gets ready to say something today, she has like a gigantic, I don't know, spit bubble in her throat and basically chokes out. she's crashing out. Oh, she's crashing out today.
Oh my god, why can't
She's
I speak
crashing out.
English right now? Like
I don't know.
in the span of 10 minutes, I lost all ability to speak.
You did, yes.
We
Yes.
went to the Girl Scout like dance thing,
Yes, I remember
and we played
that.
Limbo.
I remember that. I do remember that.
See,
Yes.
that's like all I got. I got that.
And was that no, I think that was different. Do you remember when we did Daddy Daughter? That
that was that.
is that what I'm
With the
talking about?
limo.
The limo. Yeah. That's right. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my dress from Justice.
Justice.
Dude, I have so many pictures. My whole wardrobe was Justice.
You and your sister both.
It was good. Justice. That's Justice.
Oh yeah.
And then
Well, the thing about Justice was they were brilliant because they would have clothes, obviously, but then they would have like these really weird trinket things.
that's
And-
where that's where I tried because I was crying so much that day. That's where I tried myself.
Oh my gosh, it's gross.
That makes me really sad, actually.
It
because I was
should.
such a cute kid. I'm not gonna cry.
No,
I'm not
you're
gonna
a
cry
cute
on here.
kid.
I'm not
So,
gonna cry on here.
but the thing
Um,
was, they would have like these trinket things, and then your sister Ren would come home and be like, "Oh, we gotta go to Justice. We gotta go to Justice." And I was like, "Why?" And there's this cool thing, like whatever it was, some stupid little cool thing. Well, then how am I not gonna go to get that? Because I want you to have the cool thing, and they would have them. But then you'd end up buying all these clothes. And then they would be like, hey, you saved 40% off today or whatever. And it's like, no, I didn't. I paid $200 more than I should have for something stupid. That's a picture of the actual thing.
Yeah.
You should post that to the Insta.
I'm not going to post pictures of child me.
Why?
That's like a thing. Like, people don't want to post pictures of their child because old men jerk off to it. It's a thing that happens.
Jeez.
Don't look at me like that. Like, that's
Wow.
real. Like, there are parents who will, like, post, like, really, like, weird pictures of their kids because
Yeah.
old men zork it to that.
Zork? Is that what you just said?
Jork, zork, crank the hog,
Okay.
Whatever you
okay,
wanna
okay,
call it.
okay. My gosh.
justice.
Jeez. Where's Adam when you need him?
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's not here.
He's out helping his nonprofit to get going. All right. So let's transition here as we move into Be Black, which
What?
another word is that we're halfway home. So we've started a new little thing on basically get advice from Pops. And so
Ew, Pops.
I've got plenty of years of experience of advice to give. And finally,
Plenty.
that is
Plenty
not
of
nice.
years. Like,
That is
plenty.
Rude. So anyway, the thing is, we had one from last week that was asked at the very end of the show, and we didn't have time to get in it. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to give Atlas the opportunity to re-ask it, and let's just have a conversation about what that was. So there you go. Whatever you're doing with your tongue hanging out of your mouth now is great.
Don't make it sound weird.
It was. You look like Garrett, the studio puppy, with your tongue wagging out.
Okay, so every time you just keep talking, it makes me sound weird. I'm not weird. Okay, how do I not be anxious about money? Like, how do I get used to spending money when I haven't been spending money? When I've been sucking off the teat of my parents?
Well, it's funny that you asked that question because most kids do that. That's kind of the thing about being a kid is you're not. Ow!
What the heck?
Oh, I just had a leg cramp for no reason. I love getting old. It's great.
I get leg cramps too. It's not like exclusively for old people.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here in a chair having a conversation, and it just decides to Charlie horse on.
Ow!
Why do they call it a Charlie horse anyway?
I'll look it up.
Okay, we'll do that after the fact. So let's get back to this conversation. So you're saying that as a kid, you don't have money. So now you have to transition from how do you always be taken care of to providing for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's talk deeper about that. Let me phrase the question to you. What do you think that process looks like?
Deal with it.
No, that's relatively harsh. If that's the guidance I'm giving you, then please tell me. But I would hope that's not what you're taking away from when we have financial discussions. Suck it up.
Just do it.
No. There are. Let me ask you this: what is it about where you're at that's causing you the anxiety?
College is a lot of money. It's a lot of money that I'm not used to having to owe people. You know, I'm not used to having to owe $60,000 to mysterious government men that I don't know. Like, I'm not used to having to do that. And I'm not used to having to pay for a car. Damn, that's a lot of money. Like, it's a lot.
Right.
Like, where's Mr. Beast when you need him? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know.
Oh, now we want Mr. Beast.
I don't know what to do.
All right. Well, let's boil it down this way. If you think about life, and I do this with my clients all the time, and I've never really talked about it on the air, but I'm a financial advisor. That's what I do. Anything that I'm about to say is not specifically financial advice. I mean, it is financial advice, but nothing should be taken as investment advice. And if it is, please contact your own investment advisor.
Buy stocks in Disney.
No.
Buy stocks
false.
in what's a bad company to buy stocks?
It depends.
Buy stocks in
We're not having this conversation. We're moving back
In
to
the
the
Cleveland
financial.
Browns.
Oh, gosh. Please don't do that. You'll go bankrupt. Your heart will bankrupt just as much as ours have. All right. So here's the three things.
3 things.
Finances in life comes down to three things. Now, as a kid starting out, not as a kid, as a young adult starting out, there's really only 2 of the 3 that you have. Okay. The 3 things are income, expenses, assets. So when you boil stuff down,
Mm-hmm.
kids focus on the expense piece. Like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay for college and I'm going to have to pay for a car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without an income, that's really difficult.
Mhm.
Now, you are amazingly blessed in many ways
Mhm.
that your mom and your dad have helped you the way that we have
Mm-hmm.
and will continue to do so,
Yeah.
right? So you will have gaps along the way where, fortunately, we've also been blessed enough in our
Mhm.
careers that we'll be able to help you.
Mhm.
Now, there are plenty of folks out there that is not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So for them specifically, they have a much tighter gap window than you do. So you will have some sort of a cushion, right, to kind of catch you. But the important part of the entire experience is to focus on those 3 key things. If you can think about every financial decision you make from those 3 pieces, you will be far more financially educated
Mm-hmm.
than the vast majority of kids your age.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, vast majority of people in general, because people at all ages have anxiety about money
Mm-hmm.
and finances. And do you know why?
Because it's the backbone of our society.
Well, it's because they don't know anything about it.
Oh.
And they're afraid to ask the question you asked
Mm-hmm.
because everybody assumes they should know,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, okay, so I'm going to be 19 years old. Okay. And now you're going to be 19. You're
In
an adult.
1985.
What?
In 1972.
What are you talking? I'm talking about you.
1863. I'm trying to make fun of
Dweebus?
your age. It didn't
Oh,
go
I
well.
see. That was great. Are you opening up for Adam on his nonprofit tour? So here's the
I
thing.
bring in all the money.
Now that you're 19, all right, or when you're going to be 19, there can be this thought process of, all right, now that I'm this age, these are the things in my life I have to have together. All right. And it's not necessarily true. So you can't put too much pressure on yourself. That's number 1. Number 2 is you have to always think of the 3 key things. What are the 3 key things that I've told you about?
Income,
Yep.
assets,
Yep.
expenses.
Boom. If you can just remember those 3 things, you will always make better financial decisions than if you don't. The reason is if you have an expense or if you want an expense, what do you have to also consider?
Your income and your assets.
Well, yes, if you want to reiterate
okay.
everything, but let's just conversationally speaking, if you have something you want to purchase,
Yeah.
all right? And I'm not talking like a bottle of Gatorade because
Mhm.
you'll just walk into dad's, go in the fridge, open it, and you have it, okay? I'm talking about if you want to purchase a car. Let's go down the path of the car for a minute,
Mhm.
okay? You're buying a car. Do you want a McLaren?
Freak no.
They have McLaren F1s that we could go get. Easy.
I want one. I can't have one.
Why not?
Because I don't have the money for it.
Bingo. So what you're looking at when you look at that now, and the reason that I make it that gigantic of a situation for you, and if you're not familiar, folks, a McLaren F1 will cost you $1+ million just for that one car. So I make it that extravagant because that's the way that I want you to think about it,
Mhm.
right? Is it's like, well, no, I wouldn't buy that because I don't have the money.
Mhm.
But where people don't focus, and I'm getting off the car for just a second,
Mhm.
is they're playing on their phone, right? And they're on, whatever game they like to play. And it's like, hey, for $3.99, you can get this many moves, or you can buy this level, or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
The really small expenses. Or here's a good one for
I
kids.
never buy stuff on apps. Never.
All right, then let's go back to, or let's change it a little bit to food. Going to a gas station and you're filling up gas and you're like, kind of thirsty. So I'll go in and I'll get a drink and then I'll get some chips and maybe a candy, something like that. And you spend, let's just say it's $4 or $5.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. $4 or $5.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's $25.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it every week.
Mm-hmm.
$100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
In those really little things. So as you're thinking about income, expenses, and assets, it's not just at the big level.
Mm-hmm.
To really have a good grasp of your finances, specifically starting out, you need to start to think about all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And is this something that I need? Now, that $5 purchase, the $25, the $100 a month purchase, does it matter if you make $20,000 a year and your only expenses are $1,000 a month? Does it matter if you go buy that $5 item?
No.
No, because your income significantly would cover. If you have an income, let's say, of $1,500 a month, and your expenses are $1,000 a month, and now you have this $500 cushion, you have $500 cushion.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy those $5 items or whatever it is, right? Does that make sense? So when you go to make a big purchase, if you're like, all right, here's my total expenses. And let's say, in that we'll just keep that scenario. Your total expenses for a month are $1,000. That includes your food and your rent and all this other stuff. You're $1,000 a month, and you're bringing in $1,500. You have $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make this thing work, your car payment is going to have to be less than what amount?
$500.
Less than $500. And realistically, you want it to be less than that even by itself, because what is it you want to be careful of?
I don't know.
You want to be careful of the things you don't know.
So I answered that question perfectly.
You did, but you didn't know you did. But the reason that you did is if you have a $500 cushion
Mm-hmm.
and you go ahead and you now have a $500 car,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a cushion.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's inflation and the price of something goes up, if there's a flat tire, if there's something we didn't consider,
Mm-hmm.
then we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And for most people, when they get in trouble financially, what do they use? Credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just get a credit card. And as you go to college, you need to be very careful.
Yeah.
I got my first credit card when I was in college. I got a $300 limit.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year, I got a fake ID. So all I did was spend $300 on alcohol, max out my credit card, had a great party with a bunch of people. And guess how many of those people actually helped me pay that thing off?
None.
None. And guess what my job was?
None.
I didn't have one. That doesn't make sense. So I never really had a financial conversation
Mm-hmm.
with my parents as I grew up. So I went to college as a complete idiot. And a lot of people will. Just because parents don't have the conversation with kids. So I really appreciate you asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't gotten even into it that deep, because a lot of this is you got to start at the surface level.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how much is coming in. Here's how much is going out. And then the asset piece. And we haven't talked about that. Most folks, hopefully, have a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We don't need to talk balances, but do you have a savings account?
Yeah.
Are you in the habit of moving funds into the savings account, or is your habit moving funds from the savings account?
Sometimes it changes. I don't know. Like, it used to be like lower than I wanted it to be, but then I got more money, so I added more money in it, and now I'm trying to move more money into it.
So you're trying.
So currently, I'm trying to add more into it.
Okay. But there was a time, obviously, then where the money went out of it.
Yeah.
All right. And you're going to have those ebbs and flows. But part of the reason that having that savings piece separate, that asset piece there,
Mm-hmm.
is if something happens and your expenses match your income for a specific month for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
you have something that you can use to cover it
Mm-hmm.
rather than having to get credit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a big fan of getting credit and doing it responsibly. The problem is it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
And you should really only start to think about credit if you have an actual grasp
Mhm.
on how does this thing work. Because credit is super easy. Like, I can't afford this today, so I'm going to go ahead and get it.
Mhm.
What most people don't think, that are not financially thought this through, right? Kind of
Mhm.
financial neophytes as they're starting their financial journey as a young adult, is if I can't afford it today, will I be able to afford it next month?
Mhm.
And let's say that it's a $100 purchase, and I get a statement that shows that my minimum balance is, let's say it's $15.
Mhm.
Well, I can afford $15. So in fact, what I'm going to do is, I had a great $100 purchase. I'm going to go get another $100 purchase.
Mhm.
Now I'm at $30.
What
and
does
then you max
minimum
it.
balance mean?
You mean minimum payment?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So in a credit card situation, let's say that you go out and you charge $100.
Mhm.
They are going to send you a statement
Mhm.
that shows how much you owe.
Mhm.
And they're going to show you two numbers.
Mhm.
One, pay your balance in full.
Mhm.
In this case, it would be $100.
Mhm.
Or you can pay the minimum amount.
Mhm.
And let's say that that minimum amount is $15.
Mhm.
You could pay $15 for that purchase. And then the next month, you could pay $15 for that purchase. And you could pay that $15 a month until it's paid off.
But if you keep buying stuff, then it's going to be more.
And if you decide to do the monthly purchases, guess what they charge you?
Interest.
Interest. The average interest for a credit card is 23%.
That's a lot.
So on $100, if you did not make a payment at the end of the year, you now owe $123.
Mhm.
That's in 1 year.
Mhm.
So while you're paying whatever that minimum payment is, the interest is accruing.
Mhm.
So responsible credit usage, what I would say is, you get a card, because you do have to have, it's this weird thing, right? It's sort of like food, if you think about it that way, just real quick, because you have to eat or else you'll die.
Mhm.
But if you eat too much, you could also die.
Mhm.
Like, it sucks, right? It's like, it is something that's required,
Mhm.
but it takes tremendous amounts of discipline, or it can really get you in trouble.
Mhm.
Credit is exactly the same.
Mhm.
For you to buy a house, for you to have a good insurance rate, for you to be able to do whatever you want to do down the road, what do you have to have?
Good credit score.
Got to have a good credit score. Are you going to have a good credit score if you've never had credit? No. So the system forces us to get credit,
Mhm.
but we find ourselves in trouble because we've never learned how to really manage that.
Mhm.
So I think in just what we've kind of talked about, the reason that people like yourself face anxiety about money, that's a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things going on that I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
So the easiest advice that I would give you as you get ready to head out here and be an adult at college, you know what I mean? Like, where you're
Mhm.
not at mom's house, you're not at dad's house, you're actually out there and you're figuring this stuff out yourself, is going to be coming down to those three things. How much is coming in? How much is going out? And what are the assets I have to cover this gap?
Mhm.
And to keep an eye on the flow. Where does that money flowing from? Are we going to savings, or are we moving from savings?
Mhm.
That's the other piece that I would tell you. You would be able to retire at the age of 45 or 50 if you would get serious and always have saving be a focus for you.
Mhm.
And if you're interested, I can run those numbers for you off the air and show you how that works, that you can get to a spot where it's like, I don't care if there's Social Security. I don't need it. You'd be able to get yourself to a spot where you can live on what you have created, and by doing so, saved over a certain period of time. Not necessarily what you asked, but what I'm saying is the saving component is extremely important,
Mhm.
because that helps with tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's the other issue that I think young folks tend to have, is we see today, we don't see tomorrow, right? We don't think about, if I do this, what happens tomorrow? And that can also kind of get us into trouble. Okay. So for the next few years, I would say that as you go to college, income's not going to be a gigantic contributing force, right? I think you'll probably have a job, some kind of a part-time job or whatever, because you don't want to be the totally broke college kid that most people end up being. But
Shout out, Ren.
shout out, Ren. But you also want to try to mitigate those expenses you have, because where stress will come is when your expenses equal or are greater than the income you have coming in. That's the only time you get stressed out. So you ever heard somebody say live within your means?
Nope.
You ever heard that phrase? Like,
Sure.
oh, they're not living within their means.
Sure.
Sure means you haven't, but we'll talk about it. So if you're living within your means, what that means is, let's say that you make $15,000 a year. You're spending $10,000 a year. You're living within the amount that you're actually bringing in. And if you do that financially, you're going to be very healthy. Where people get in trouble is living above and beyond their means. We're making $15,000 a year, but we're spending $20,000 a year, and we're using credit, and we can do all these things to kind of get through it. Okay. So my biggest advice would be 3 key components to every financial situation that you face. How much is coming in? How much is going out? And what do I have to cover the gap? Now, what you have to cover the gap is difficult to address. It's more difficult to address that than the other two, because the other two are dependent upon what do we have in the asset pool, right? So, but the other two, the good news about financial peace is that you control 2 out of the 3 that we've talked about. So if your income isn't where you want it to be, guess what you can do?
Get a new job.
You get a new job. If you can't get a new job in the industry that you're in, what do you do?
Get a different job.
Get a different job, or you can...
Sell feet pics online.
You could sell the feet pics, or you could go to school, which is where we were heading with that. You could go to college, or you could go to a technical institute, or you can go to some sort of a trade school, right? There's a number of things you can do to improve your own financial circumstance in terms of income. And then on the expenses, give me an example of how you could control an expense for you right now. As an 18-year-old, you don't have a lot of them. But what is one thing that you could do? I'm not saying you have to, right? I'm just saying, for conversation purposes, think about that. And if you're on there and you're listening out there today, that's what I want you to think about. For just 1 second, think about this. Be like, all right, what could I do from an expense standpoint that I could then maybe move to savings instead of move from savings? So for you, what's something that you have that you know you could be like, oh, I could easily save money by X?
Not buying Diet Coke.
Diet Coke? Where do you buy Diet Coke?
Gas station.
All right. And do you do that a lot?
Not really, but once I spent $20 on door dashing Diet Coke to me, 2 bottles. Actually, it was like $30. Door dashing 2 Diet Cokes to me.
So DoorDash is a thing. It is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I've been sitting at my desk and be like, man, I'm super busy. I don't want to go get lunch. I'll just DoorDash something real quick. By the time you do the fees and the taxes and the service, it doubles. So your little $10 lunch from Taco Bell just became $25. And have you ever had DoorDash Taco Bell before?
Multiple times.
It is kind of gross.
No.
By the time it gets there. No? Then maybe I just had a bad experience.
I'm just close to Taco Bell.
Oh, well, then you should go get it yourself. But that's an example, right?
It's buy DoorDash or buy anxiety pills. I prefer DoorDash.
There you go. Yes, a little better. So, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, from a financial side of things, it's like all of us have those little things that we could do to make that piece of it better. Now, here's the last piece of fatherly advice I'm going to give you on the financial issue. Okay. I always tell my clients 4 words. And if you can figure this out, you will be amazingly successful, both mentally and financially. Live. Oh, wait. Did I say it's 4 words? It's 6 words.
Are you sure you even know it?
It's 6 words. Yes, I just forget because I'm old, having a senior moment. Here's the 6 words:
Senior moment.
live well now, live well later. Live well now, live well later.
Mm-hmm.
If you do things correctly, you can do both.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, let's say you get $10 in Diet Coke a week because you got the caffeine issue. Okay. If you're doing 10 a week, make a game of it. So, you know what? I'm only going to do $5 this week. And what am I going to do with the other $5?
Buy more Diet Coke.
Put it in the savings account. Right? Yes. Everyone knew the answer. We just choose not to do the answer.
Go to Chili's and get my free Diet Coke.
There you go. Hey, tell everybody about your whole Chili's game. You got this whole like chips and salsa thing out there.
If you join the rewards, you get free Diet Coke, or you get any free non-alcoholic beverage or chips for free every time you go.
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty epic.
We went just so that we could get it.
No,
pretty
that's
great.
not true.
What do you mean?
We didn't go just for that. We went
Well,
because
we
of
certainly
Chili's.
we
and
certainly
Chili's is amazing.
didn't turn them down when they brought us those chips and salsa, which are phenomenal. Thank you, Chili's.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, non-spawn. So, but I did want to order, and when we were there, I told Atlas that I really wanted to have ribs, and I was gonna say, remember?
No.
I want my baby back, baby
Oh
back.
my god.
I was like, that's how I'm gonna order, just like that. I was like, yeah, can I help you, sir? Yeah, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs.
Thank you for that. That was great.
So,
that was really good.
There you go.
Thanks for my
I will
financial
be
advice.
I will be at birthday parties this week singing that song. So the Chili's.
For the same nonprofit
The
organization.
same nonprofit. Yeah. Just as this podcast is a nonprofit organization as well, donating all of our funds to nothing. So we have
all of our funds to my Diet Coke Foundation.
yes. The podcast is actually in way more debt than the United States government is at this point, but we're doing good. We got that. We have the expense piece figured out. Just a little shy on the old income. So, all right. Well, in all seriousness, long conversation on the finance piece, but it's important.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that struggle with it, not just people who are 18 and under.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to many folks in their 20s and 30s that still don't have it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And mom and dad have been a little sheltering when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then when you get out there, it's like, well, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody told me about this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunately, a lot of parents don't talk about money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always the most comfortable conversation to have with kids, but it's critically important.
Mm-hmm.
Now you also grow up in a world where there's a tremendous amount of resources where you can do the Googles and, you can do the chat GPTs or the co-pilots and all those sorts of things and get really good information. But I would always just be careful what you get off the old Googles and co-pilots and chat GPTs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, does that help?
Yeah.
With the financial discussion? Now, what would you say your biggest takeaway is from what we just talked about?
I have to answer a follow-up question.
You do. Yeah.
Just
I'm going to
that
have you write a report when we get off.
I always have a little pillow.
To always have a little pillow.
That I always have a little pillow. That's my takeaway. I always have a little pillow.
What in the world
Something
are you talking
to fall
about?
back on.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So by that you mean the old like the help anytime you want. Oh, the savings account.
Yeah.
Is that your pillow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my parents.
Or
Or their will and testament.
yes. Well, the main focus was not to rely on your parents dying or them to not even be there. It is really self-sufficiency
Mm-hmm.
is important because you can sort of begin to control your own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
And speaking of expenses,
Yes.
I want to give you an information. So there's this website called
Okay.
Cameo. Have you ever heard of this?
I have heard of Cameo.
You have heard of Cameo.
I love Cameo.
Oh, then never mind. Then it's not funny.
Why is it not funny?
I got Cameo, and I just like looking at it. You want to know who's on there?
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
You want to know who's on there?
Bernie Kosar used to be on there.
He's still on there.
Okay.
He's a lot of money.
Elio was on there.
Wait, really? Pato was on there. Bernie is $219.
Oh, you know why? You know why it's 219?
No.
Area code of Cleveland. That's awesome. Love the 219.
Still not gonna pay it.
I know.
You could have made it $21.09.
He could have made it $21.09.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess he could have. But that's not a lot of money because basically what they do is they record a video.
Yeah.
And talk about you and whatever you want them to say,
Mhm.
and then they text it to you.
Mhm.
So for that 5 seconds, you feel like you're famous. How much is Pato's?
Pato's is because he's not doing it right now, so it doesn't really.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can check again. Oh, it's $199.
For a Pato cameo, but he's not doing it right now.
Correct. It's $199 for Jeremy Jordan.
Who's Jeremy Jordan?
He's this really popular musical guy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got
So I didn't know. Is it an app? Is it a standalone app?
it's an app.
So can you order it as a gift?
Yeah,
Like you could order a cameo as a gift and have it sent via text to somebody?
you're getting an idea. And I don't enjoy the idea that you were getting.
I mean, is that right? Is that how that would
Yeah.
work potentially?
Yeah, you could potentially, buy a cameo of Pato proposing to your child. Like you could, like hypothetically.
Yeah,
If you
not
want,
that
like-
I would actually, but I mean, it could be done. But he's not doing it right now. He's on break. All right. All right. Well, hey, you know what we just did, kiddo?
What do we do?
We ran
An
the show.
hour.
We ran
talked
the
for an
show.
hour.
We did. We hit the mark, and you know what? I feel like there was a lot of information in this one.
Yeah.
Pretty deep into some information on the financial stuff. So hopefully we didn't lose you. Hopefully, if you're out there, you found that it was relatively useful. And obviously, that's what we would like to do. And we want to continue to come up with some things that are helpful and all that sort of stuff. So as we wrap today, again, a couple of reminders. I'm not going to be here for the next several weeks, but at least the next couple. But Atlas will be around, and Adam will
gotta
be
get my
back from his tour, doing his comedy club routine. And then I think Atlas has a quote of the week. And then after the quote of the week, we're going to wrap up and get out of here to real life.
Okay.
It's great.
We have one for my friend Nick. Shout out Nick. Nick Cox.
Poor kid. That's horrific.
And this quote actually has to do with his last name. He goes, and I quote, "Stop creeping on my sack. This is no laughing matter." The silence.
Well, what's the rule? We do the rule of no context,
No
right?
context.
So you're just gonna have to figure that one out. But don't creep on it. That's apparently what we're learning out here. So, all right, Atlas. Anything else from you before we wrap this bad boy? No, we're getting the finger shake. So, all
I'm
right.
actually gonna go buy Taco Bell.
Are you going to Taco Bell?
Oh my god, have you tried their? Hey guys, have you tried their grilled cheese burrito?
No, I haven't.
It's so good.
I just saw this commercial for like this burrito thing that is made with like red jalapenos or something like that. It's a new Cantina chicken something.
Yeah, that's not what we want though. The
All right.
grilled cheese burrito is a burrito, and it has rice, it has beef or whatever you want on it. It has sour cream, it has nacho cheese, it has shredded cheese, and then it has little like fiesta strips.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it up, and then they fry cheese on it.
That sounds really healthy.
Oh god.
Super healthy. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed